right. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to everybody anywhere in the world watching this stream right now. I'd like to welcome you all. We have a fun evening ahead of us. So we'll speak a lot about, changes in the digital space, um, risks surrounding IT solutions. Tell you a little bit about Pandamonium Projects. That's I'm a part of that company as a director. Where we go to build out strategies for very good solutions, digital solutions for organizations all around. We have a guest speaker with us today. This is Angela Fletcher, CEO of Somo. I'll introduce her in a bit. Hi, Mariska, see in the chat. Yes, it's a good topic, especially in these times. And we have this live stream going on called Disruption. So please keep an eye on this space. We'll come to you probably every quarter, if not every 2 months, with very interesting topics and very interesting speakers, you know, stalwarts in the industry speaking on different topics, right? So I'd like to give you a small introduction on Angela. She has in excess of 20 years experience in banking, encompassing sales, strategic planning, product management, and credit analysis. Angela is also a certified project management professional, and you know what that means, right? She's also served as a business coach before joining the Zomo team in January of this year. She was a member of the credit committee at Citibank after managing credit-driven product solutions. During her tenure at Citibank, she also led the implementation of the prepaid card payment system, which was designed primarily for use in mobile wallets, and project-led the implementation of a technological solution to enhance reporting requirements for FATCA. And all of my friends here in the financial industry, just how important that is, and international law and so forth. In 2019, she obtained her prestigious project management professional certification from PMI, Woot for PMPs, which has provided her with a platform to expand her expertise into several other industries, because project management is not just a one industry thing. It's not just construction, it's not just IT. You can apply project management principles to pretty much anything. Angela served as a consultant project manager with ID Maps Jamaica, providing support to organizations for short-term projects, which included project lead on the Trans-Jamaica Highway IPO led by NCB Capital Markets. And you remember that IPO coming out right before COVID, where it was really exciting. You had the ads on buses and everything going around. So it was a good project. So fun fact, Angela likes fast cars and she speeds within the limits. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Angela. Could you join me on stage?
Thank you so much, Julian. Yes, my fun fact about my love of cars. Thanks for having me here today. I am a proud PMP professional, and I do agree that it is very applicable in every arena that you can work in. And when you think about projects, practically every application you have in any kind of workspace can be developed around a project methodology and implemented as such. So it is an extraordinary asset to have, and I'm really glad that I took that journey and continue to do the certifications to maintain it, because that exam was not easy. So I don't want to lose it.
Yes, indeed.
All right, so don't take PMPs lightly. They studied hard, and they had to pass a very, very challenging exam.
Yep.
So thanks. I'd love to. I'm sharing. What is it? Yes, thank you very much, Julian. So if you could share my slides for me, I am going to get into my presentation today. So I am very proud to be the CEO of Somo. We are the best at what we do, and we've been doing what we do for over 50 years. I joined the company, as Julian said, in January of this year. And as much as my background has been in banking, when you think about the profession of project management, you can pretty much apply that in any kind of business and learn it and understand how to structure and manage it accordingly. And in every aspect of life, as we have moved through these digital spaces, technology is at the forefront of it all. So, in terms of even going back into the days of when SOMO was Moore's Business Forms, which a lot of people are more familiar with, and they'd think of them as the paper company. But don't think of paper as not being a part of the digital process. So, for example, the MICR encoding, these little digits that you see here at the bottom of check leaves, they help, they are part of the process that route checks through banking systems. And back in the 1970s, as you see here, a lot of those processes were handled manually. Now, technology plays a significant role in routing these checks electronically. So you don't necessarily need to have the physical movement of them anymore. So Zomo has, for a long time, been a part of this innovation space, to work in the post PC era. And you'll see I have a little image of a Dell laptop on the screen, and that's because we are a Dell partner. I'll get into that a little bit later. So we actually provide Dell products and services from the United States. We bring them in for our clients. So we're B2B pretty much. But just to show you that, a 50-odd-year-old organization, we've been doing technology for over 20 years now as part of our actual solution implementation, but it drives so much. And we think, so then what has changed? Here again is another statistic. In 2001, the More Tech Division, that's what we're called then, we use cutting edge data capture technology for that bid that we won in 2001. And we won it again in 2011. And you think of, so that was the yesterday. And then there's the tomorrow, and we have now. And what drove a lot of these initiatives initially back in the day were expense management policies, where people were looking to be more efficient. And, this tech space became even more vibrant. I remember years ago when we used to have to travel overseas or physically attend training sessions. Most of them are delivered by webinars now. And I remember the days when we used to have, the little banger phones and so forth. All you could do is send is a text message. Now we can do so much more with mobile technology. So a lot has evolved over the years coming from this space. And I got some statistics to share with you about how workplaces have evolved, especially since COVID has happened. So we're talking about that kind of disruption and change. 16% of companies in the world are 100% remote. And if you recall, maybe 10, 15 years ago, remote working was just like a foreign concept for so many organizations. For some companies still don't allow remote work, and I'll share a little bit with you about the challenges that some companies may face in that regard. And there is some consider a better work-life balance when you have that flexibility. So your working hours may be midnight to 4 a.m., whereas that's not the traditional opening hours of a brick and mortar organization. And a lot of it relies on what you do. So if you're interacting with the public, that is, we're all awake and up and about between certain hours of the day, then it becomes challenging for you in terms of that kind of remote work. But even those spaces are changing now, as I get emails at 2 o'clock in the morning, not just internal, but from clients as well. And I see them when I get up in the morning, of course. I'm not reading them at 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm very much asleep. I'm very traditional when it comes to my work hours, so to speak. But I love the flexibility of being able to work wherever I am. All I need is my smartphone, and if I need my laptop for certain things, because not every application, works on your smartphone, which is another interesting advent of technology in terms of how applications are managed so that you can utilize them better on your mobile phones, because more and more people just want that alone as their tool. Um, I mentioned that there are challenges as well in terms of the remote working, and sometimes people have an issue unplugging at the end of a day. Some people suffer from that kind of loneliness from the lack of social interaction and that kind of communication and collaboration that you get from that physical presence. So COVID certainly disrupted that a lot. And because we were forced overnight, it wasn't a choice that companies had. We had to manage COVID protocols with social distancing. We had to protect ourselves and our families. And it became a challenge for organizations who just were not ready. So, the Caribbean is very much a part of this evolution. And, it wasn't that difficult for us at Somo to transition in that regard because of the aspect of our business that is technology driven. Yes, we do operate a factory and we do printing, so you physically have to be there for those operations. But companies have trusted us to deliver critical software applications to mobile and fixed devices. And this is a space that we're not as well known in as we are in the commercial printing space and retail stock item space, but it is a space in which we are very active and we provide support to some very large corporations out there. And we continue to focus on various verticals such as communication channels, utilities, and finance by extending their services to end users with tablets, smartphones, laptops, or thin clients instead of the traditional desktop PC. And we still cater to our PC users for those environments requiring greater user access and greater flexibility and security. And we provide secure and power efficient alternatives. Now, when you think about why we want this technology, it's to exchange information. There are communication channels. And one of the primary assets that organizations have is information. So when you're working from home, what do I have access to? So the physical body that I'll walk into their office and have a conversation with them, how do I have access to their data and their information? And technology has evolved so that we're now having access to that information because it has to be in a document form. We have to document our processes and our flows because it's not that easy to tap into what's going on in somebody's head anymore. And that's where a lot of policies and procedures come from. So when you don't want all that information locked into a subject matter's head, information management is about making this knowledge explicit, actionable, and secure. So you need to be able to access securely your emails, your database from your homes. And it can't just be on the World Wide Web because there are hackers out there and there are people that can penetrate your systems. So an organization's information management strategy is essential in preparing a business to adopt new technologies and maximize the potential value they derive from them. So that may usually involves a lot of scanning of paper-based information, and that is what has hit a lot of organizations now, that I can't be sending my staff home with the filing cabinet and everybody needs access to this filing cabinet, but the filing cabinet can be accessible online. And there are data management solutions, document management solutions for that. And that's pretty much what you're doing. You're changing the workspace so that all of that information that is within this brick and mortar building or in somebody's head is accessible to you electronically. And, you know, as I said before, technology is not new to Jamaica. It's not new to the world, but the expediency in which we've had to embrace even more of it had hit us last year, March 2020, when significant changes were made in Jamaica specifically as it related to protocols that companies had to follow because of COVID-19 and the threat that it posed. I mean, when you think about it, who would have ever thought that after the Spanish flu in the 1900s, that we in 2020 would be facing a pandemic that has continued wreaking havoc on the economies across the world. So technology is so pivotal at this time. And when one of the risks and the considerations that happens when people think about using working on mobile devices, which is why some organizations never took that leap before now, is theft. Of course, you don't want persons stealing your data and leaking of sensitive data. So if persons get to hack into your system, which comes about from when you have unsecure Wi-Fi or network spoofing and phishing attacks, there's also the concern about accountability. How do I know that my staff is working and delivering? And there are ways to measure this and to assess this, but companies want that touch and feel. They still want to physically see you present in the office to ensure that you're doing. And unless there are, and some jobs are easier to measure output than others, and that's a matter of fact. So that is where issues may arise. And also, what's the environment in which you're working from home? Are if you're dealing with very confidential data, are other people in your home space hearing you? So what has happened with very, you know, large organizations that appreciate this, especially those in the financial services industry, they ensure that your homes are set up with the infrastructure, the backup, the servers, the storage systems. I mean, there's so much surrounding what makes technology safe. And some people look at it as an expense, but I consider it an investment. You're investing in your business when you ensure that your data is secure, because if there are phishing attacks and there is a data breach, the cost to your organization is is significant. So I'll touch on that as well and a little bit. So we recognize the increased risk to an organization when the user is working on a mobile device. And we have several solutions to address these challenges, and we transitioned to digital print many years ago as well. And even we also provide secure paper options. So technology is everywhere, and we've been a part of it for a long time as well. So in looking at security, as I said before, don't take this aspect of it lightly. It is a critical component of any technological solution. So weak firewalls can render your business irrelevant, unsecure, exposed, and vulnerable to infiltration. So you don't want anybody interacting with you to be uncertain about their data, to be concerned that they're going to get a marketing call from this company, and they wonder where they got their telephone number, where they got their email address, how come they got a flyer in the mail, how did they, with their name and address on it. And reputational damage is significant, and that's really important for people to take into consideration. Don't take this aspect lightly. There are many solutions out there, very good solutions. We provide most of them, and it is, as I said, a critical aspect. And we've been doing this for many years. And you see this little image I found about a padlock on paper, because as I said before, you can secure paper too. So if you want to talk about technological innovation, Zomo's got you there. um, so once the solutions are integrated, they're usually more secure. So you have to work with all of the aspects of everything that you're providing, so that it lands up in a lot of cases even more secure than working in the office, because the kind of firewalls that are developed and the solutions that are used for collaboration protect your organization, and people are more vigilant. rather than you're in your office and you're leaving papers lying around, you're keeping your screens open. I developed the methodology a long time ago of locking my screen as soon as I got up from my desk, and it didn't matter how far I went. But that gives people easy access to information. There are little things that you can do that can protect you even from that, and those things are really important. And as I said before, why data protection is so important is because, that reputational damage, financial loss, a company can be completely destroyed if through lawsuits and breaches of data protection laws. So we in Jamaica have data protection laws that are imminently coming into play, and we have to ensure that we protect information in a manner that people weren't really thinking about before, and the responsibility and the data encryption and all of those tools that we have to put in place. I remember years ago when electronic banking was new to the financial services space, and people were concerned. Yet it is more the norm now, and people will more and more appreciate how much safer that is than the fraud that takes place with check leaves and persons, doing phishing attacks and so forth. So there's a lot to consider when you're in this space, but guess what? It's worth it. It is absolutely worth it, because this is where we now talk about the benefits of this technology, moving the mobility, higher efficiency and productivity of staff because they're accessible and they can respond quickly, they can access data quickly. The flexibility and increased quality of service to clients. So I can respond to a need that you have urgently at 10 o'clock at night because I have access. Ability to make and receive payments wirelessly. So that's, as I said before, electronic banking wasn't a thing it wasn't a big thing here about 20 years ago. Lower overhead costs because you don't need as much office space, you don't need as much brick and mortar. Maybe you need a little workstation, and there is if people pop into an office for any reason at all. And agility, so we're able to move quickly. And agility is very much a project management terminology too, and it speaks to the agile behaviors in terms of being able to respond in little stages along the way of customer issues or managing a project and so forth. And here again, COVID-19 protocol compliance, very, very, very important. And especially now we're in our third spike in Jamaica, and being able to work remotely and distance ourselves from each other and manage that exposure is very important. And the biggest benefit is increased sales. Why? Because of everything that followed above, because you're able to respond better and more efficiently. And companies like that, people like dealing with that ease. And a lot of times when you make it easier to interact with you, companies will pay a premium for your service, and that's important. And we embody that absolutely in everything that we do at Somo International. We ensure that our service is top notch and that we can deliver. We are known for responding to emergencies, to quickly being able to address client requests when they're in a bind. And that's an important aspect of agility and increased sales, because then people know that they can rely on you. You're accessible and available all the time. And that's really, really important. And mobile technology helps with that. So, our customers have benefited from these various tools in various ways, and it, the demand that we've had for technology solutions, infrastructure, server, storage since COVID has been tremendous. And it's not just Zomo, it's the industry as a whole. This is a very vibrant industry right now. And you're looking at reducing storage space, enhanced security, improved regulatory compliance, easier document retrieval, better collaborations, better backup and disaster recovery, because continuity of business protocols and policies and procedures are very important. You need to have your data on a server. and increased productivity. So these are the things, and Zomo has our integrates these solutions seamlessly, and it's just as secure as working in the office. So our collaboration and document management solutions allow people to work from anywhere. And the security solutions protect the organizations, and even if the device being used belongs to the employee themselves. So a lot of people, as I said, don't know a lot about us in this space, but this slide right here, which is my final slide, really highlights the partnerships that we have and the role that we've played in this space for over 20 years. So, and especially since the onset of COVID, this has become one of the forefronts of our business model in terms of enterprise solutions, infrastructure, which is your client solutions, your laptops and scanners and so forth, security solutions, because you really need to it's like you go from one stage to the next to the next. Don't miss out a stage. And of course, the enterprise content management, because you need to digitize your process flows and your papers and make everything that much more seamless. So we've had a client who did not want anybody to touch paper. They wanted to eliminate signing checks and wanted everything to be electronic so that the paper was loaded in the printer and people remotely could see the check, sign, and everything comes out on a secure printer and nobody had to touch the instrument at all. And that's where we're heading, and that's where people. So it's a reminder that the investment is worth it. It's absolutely worth it. And this is a pivotal time for the digitized space. And that to me is the new buzzword. It's the pivot that everybody has had to do since COVID came about. So that's my presentation for this evening. I hope I kept everybody engaged, and just so you don't forget, see our contact information up here on the screen if you want to reach out and talk to our team after hearing a little bit more about us today. Back to you, Julian.
Thank you very much, Angela. You spoke a lot of facts a while ago. A lot of stuff I knew already, but I'm hoping that the audience here will appreciate and understand just what an organization has to go through to actually survive and thrive in these times. And it should even be from, well, it should be from before these times, right? Because we have been delinquent in going digital for a while, even while the rest of the world goes digital. I'm sure we've heard of mobile wallets long ago before it even got here. We knew of internet banking within Chase Bank, where you can just send a picture of your check and it goes to
Yes.
your account. It's still not here yet, but at least we have an NCB app and a Scotia app, we can use with ease. Granted, the token does give some trouble, but I hope there's nobody from NCB here. So, so yeah, I've appreciated the digital life, and I have adapted. I was one of them who was against banking digital for a while, for whatever uninformed reason I had.
Okay.
But I now appreciate it. Automation has really changed my life for the best of it. We have some questions here, Angela. I'm hoping
All
you can
right.
answer. This is from Madam Dearest. She says, "Hi, Andrea. Do you foresee many local companies maintaining a work from home slash remote work arrangement after the pandemic?"
I think there's going to be a mix. I think for the companies that have embraced it there and have seen the reduction in their costs, because electricity costs will go down at your offices. We will have to increase ours at home, but there is a balance. And I've been following a lot of the news and the commentary that I see out there, and I think there's definitely going to be a mix of it. A lot of companies are calling their staff back into office. A lot of them. Yeah.
Right. And there's this thread I follow on LinkedIn called hashtag the Great Resignation, where a
Mm-hmm.
lot of persons in North America that are being called back to office, they're quitting
Yep.
because they don't want to go back to office. Whether it is that they found themselves in a situation where they don't have to deal with commute,
Mm-hmm.
um, they don't have to travel, especially where it is that they work behind a screen anyway. Or they've probably moved back in with family that live
Yeah.
far away from corporate.
Yeah.
So they're taking action of resigning and finding remote work, which is now anywhere in the world if you
That's
look at
so
it. So,
that's so true. And it's the accountability factor that I think drives a lot in terms of businesses in Jamaica. It's feeling comfortable that if you're delivering, if I'm getting that output from you, then okay, it's okay. But if they're not getting that from somebody else, how do they make that choice between the two? But one very good point you made, Julian, the transport, the time it takes for you to get to and from the office, because that's what makes my life easier too. When if I have an appointment at 12 o'clock in the day, and to drive back down to the office on Slipen Road, sometimes it's really not the most productive use of my time. And
yeah,
Zoma will get less from me if I'm spending so much time driving in traffic. So I love it. I like the flexibility of it, for sure.
yeah. Yes, I second that. Right. I have another question. Given the current status of organizations moving to a digital space, do you think it's feasible or profitable for entrepreneurs or new business owners to have a brick and mortar? It's like
Uh, it's like a what?
a tradition for most persons. You start a business, you want to at least have an office
Have an
space.
office. It depends. It
Yeah.
depends on what you're offering. So if it's something tangible that people want to be able to touch and feel and see, then it's challenging not to have a space that provides that. But if you're providing just a service, and I think COVID and the evolution of technology in this space has taught us that we can do this exactly what we're doing now, having a
Mhm.
conversation with each other online. And just to let you know, I've never met Julian face to face, so this is my face to face with Julian. And I get to talk, we both get to talk to an audience of however many persons that are here. That, the cost is diminished too when you think about that. You're not renting a space and those kind of
Yeah.
things. And that's what people will embrace. That's what people will embrace about technology, is a reduced cost. So you
Mhm.
invest in it first, and then your costs will be managed thereafter. So
Right.
it's there, and I've seen things pop up during COVID. It's definitely pop up in terms of online businesses and people. I've seen a lot of more entrepreneurial initiatives taking place
Yes.
since COVID. People
Yes.
pivoted.
Definitely.
People
Yeah.
pivoted as they needed to. Yeah,
Yes. They have to survive. Can't blame them at
absolutely.
all. I have another question from KJ. He's asking if Zomo, if they have any services to support small local online businesses.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you just give us a call. I don't know what you need in terms of what you have in place now, but if you took the contact information that was up on the screen a while ago, we have an email address, a phone number that you can reach out to, and we can certainly have a discussion. We do B2B, and we do large projects mostly, but I can guarantee you that small businesses as well get support from us also. So give us a
All
call,
right.
KJ.
I hope that satisfied KJ. All right. From your own company's perspective, because this is a hot topic, do you
Hmm.
believe that your staff have maintained the same productivity levels or have they increased?
That's a easy answer. Increased for those that can work remotely, because we also operate a factory and people need to be there to run
Right.
the machines. But for those that do work remotely, it has increased. And I say that with some trepidation, because they work longer hours, I find. So, there's no end to when they stop if they're working on something because they're not thinking about the commute. You
Right.
understand? So that is what will happen. And sometimes people have to manage that time at home in terms of taking the break when they need to take the break. So,
Yes.
but yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes I mean, even when it was face to face, we used to work the long hours anyway. We'd be
True,
there till
true,
sometimes in the
true,
night
true. But you
and still
see, the curfew now cut out a lot of things
yeah,
too, right? Because people can't be on the road late at night working late in office. So a lot of the things that have come out of COVID makes technology and digital applications so much more relevant right now.
right, right, right. Okay, great. So KJ has a follow up. His business is an online publishing and editing business.
Okay. All right. Yes. Give us a
Ah,
call, please.
all right, good, good, good.
I
All
hope
right.
you took down the information, KJ.
If not, you can probably give it to me and I drop it in the chat. But
Sure.
the final question, if no other pops up, can
Mhm.
any organization be fully digital and be successful?
Absolutely. Think about marketing companies in the digital space. It's a services. Once you're purely service driven, you can operate in the digital space very easily, very very easily. So it's when it's intangible, when you can't touch and feel it. That's those are the businesses that can thrive in that kind of environment.
Yes. Okay. All right, great. All right, Anja, I'd like to thank you very much for your presentation. I'm sure the audience enjoyed it. Thank you for answering our questions. I believe you covered everything. And thanks for being here on our live stream today
Thank
or
you very
tonight.
much. Thank you. This has been great, and it has been a pleasure getting to know you too, Julian, and
Yes.
answering. And KJ just commented Uber did it. Very
Yeah.
very true. But there was a tangible product attached to Uber, but Uber in it of itself is all online. You're so right, KJ. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yes.
Lovely,
All
lovely.
right.
All right, MJ, thanks, and we will
Thank
catch up.
you. Absolutely. Take care, Julian. Thanks.
Bye bye. All right, and there goes Andrea. So at this point in time, I will go through Pandamonium Projects. It's it's fairly new to the scene. It's been around, but we're really just launching it today, and I have the distinct pleasure of running through what we do, who we are, and what we offer. Right. So let me just kickstart here. Right. So 1 second. Right. Sorry. Right. So this is our story, our track, right? We're established in November 2017. Did our first major project in August of 2020, last year, right after COVID. I joined the team earlier this year in February. We solidified mission and vision. So we built out our firm strategy that should work going forward. And we're officially launching tonight, actually, with this live stream. So this is the first time coming to the public with Pandemonium Projects, and I hope we are doing well so far, right? What we do and our mission is to formally educate our clients with the constructs of project management and organization, which means we help our clients. We show them our services are built on the backbone of the principles of project management. So everything we do, we apply project management to it because it yields success pretty much 90% of the time, given the risk factors, right? We also develop suitable strategies geared towards the client's organizational growth and development because what we want to give you is a sustainable long-term solution. So we scope it out. We help to identify the feasibility of whatever it is that we're applying to your organization to ensure that it works, right? And third, to implement innovative and stable solutions in order to maximize profitability. So the very definition of a business is to gain profit. and whatever we do should facilitate that, right? So yes, we do projects, and sure, projects have a beginning and an end, but we also have to be in charge of benefit realization, which comes after the project. So it is tracked even after you finish. So you have that warranty period, and you also have that period of track to ensure that what we developed at the end isn't obsolete, because it's digital and things go like that. It's the Internet of Things, so things are obsolete just like that. And we ensure that you realize the benefits, and that it works at least for a couple of years. Services we offer, as I mentioned before, project management and maintenance, not just in construction, not just in IT, but also the business process improvement and more. It's pretty much any industry. I've done projects in aviation, in marketing, sports, so pretty much any industry. We do business plan development. We do bespoke system development, which is really building systems specific to our specific to your needs, right? So it's custom built for you. We do graphic design and social media management, as well as network infrastructure build out, because the team is pretty much our bench strength is IT as well as project management. All right. The team, we have Marcel Bell. He's the CEO, and the founder. He started Pandamonium Projects. He's a certified project management, and well, it's there. You can check his LinkedIn as well for more details. You have me. I'm a director. I sit on the board of Pandamonium Projects. I'm certified project manager as well. I like sound and simple business processes, and I love automation. Right? You give me a problem, and the first thing I'm going to think is that there's an app for it. And if not, let's build it out and make it work. It should be simple. And then we have Jordan Powell, right, who works on our website, soon to launch. Exceptional, time oriented, and it's very creative. It's from the creatives industry, but he has that IT background as well. So this is the team so far, and we've been working on a couple of projects the past couple of months, and we've been doing fairly well. So I'm happy. You can contact us. Our primary source is LinkedIn. Pandemonium Projects on LinkedIn. That's where we start. We'll branch out in the other social media spaces soon, but we find that LinkedIn has our crowd. It's professional. It's where we garner most of our contacts and business. So that's where we started. And of course, you can get to us by email, projectsbypandemonium@gmail.com. Right? I would like to share two apps with you, and I'll do this for every time I present. I'll give you some value added, because I know most of what I said, most of maybe what Angela has presented, is speaking to like businesses or organizations, but who we have as an audience right now are pretty much, and don't knock me if I'm wrong, because I can't see or identify who's on the stream now, but we probably have individuals as well, and you'd want some value from this presentation and from taking this time out. So I have two apps here that I know will change your life immediately. The first one is One Money. And if you think back, or if you are a person like me that likes to track what they spend, and try to save some money, or identify where I'm spending most of my money outside of KFC, you would have probably tried to set up a budget using Excel. And as well as being tedious, it maybe you download some templates, or so it's never ever giving me what I want. It doesn't break down what I need to see or generate any reports that I want unless I go in and create graphs. And it was just a tedious process that I used to take on Saturday mornings, and take pretty much an hour to do. One Money is really simple. You set up your expenses one time. You can need set up a budget, and as you spend, you just put it in. Right at the end of the month, it shows you what you spend. It shows you variances. It shows you what you spend most on. So you can probably try to budget more or budget better, and it really really it shown me the drivers of all of my experiences and has led me to make certain decisions in my life to get rid of what is depleting my cash. So I would try it. It's free. It has a paid version, like a one-time thing, and I'm not advertising. I don't get anything back for advertising this. It actually just really works. You can spend about $1,500 Jamaican, and you get the lifetime usage. So that's what I did, and pretty well. You can download and try it if you want. And then you have the Pocket app, which are for readers. So I like to read. I love to read actually. And what gets in the way of reading for me is everything else that I have to do. Driving, chores, housework. I needed something to read to me, right? And I found Pocket. You can plug in any digital article and it reads to you. It's simple, effective. I have it in my pocket. I'm doing laundry. It's reading to me. I'm absorbing the knowledge, right? What I've discovered as a hidden feature, and this app is free as well. What I've discovered as a hidden feature is that it can take premium content. So if you follow Glean on Instagram and you see some of the big highlights, the big news highlights, and it says premium on it, and you have to pay to view it. If you save that link to Pocket, Pocket will read it to you for free. For free. And that goes as well for like the New York Times or any Harvard Business Review that only give you 3 views per month. Pocket will do that for you. So for all my avid readers, try Pocket. And you can find it in your Google Store or your iOS Play Store. So you know, we've been going on and I have a few people to thank. I'd like to thank the audience who's here. And I'm wrapping up now actually. I'd like to thank the audience who's here. I'd like to thank Angela for supporting, coming on and delivering that stellar presentation on the changes in the digital space. And I'd like to thank the agency, Design and Digital Marketing. You can find them here. They are responsible for pretty much all of our graphics and our social media presence. So you call it that she's a sponsor of this live stream, and I must say thanks. Right, so we are coming to the end of our stream. We're actually there. We were actually early, 9 minutes. I see KJ is saying, I'd love if Pandamonium Projects help me with my LinkedIn page. Oh, well, you see who gave us the plug for the LinkedIn, KJ, so you could reach out to her. It's Mariska K. She's really good at what she does, and the graphics are on point. So we're drilling down to the end of our stream. And if there are any questions, now is the time to drop it before we come off. And again, I'd just like to thank each and every one of you for coming out, showing the support. We really appreciate it. It's our first time, it's our launch, and we're looking to do this every quarter. As I was saying, we're doing fresh digital content. And of course, I share 2 more apps with you if you come on. So thanks, guys, and we'll be ending this stream here. Thanks for coming on. Bye bye.